Welcome to the Website Success Show, the podcast dedicated to helping women in business get more traffic and sales through their website with less reliance on social media and paid ads. I'm Jules White, the founder of the Website Success Hub, and I love helping local and online businesses make more money through their existing website. If you have a business you love but you don't like the way your website performs, then this is the show for you. So hi, welcome back to the Website Success Show. So today we're diving into a website SEO audit and we're going international today, which I'm very excited about. So I'm joined today by Indira from Salon over in Dubai. So welcome, Indira. It's great to have you here.
Hello.
So before we start, there's a question that I always ask on these episodes. So if we were to meet in 6 months' time and you were telling me the amazing things that were happening in your business, how would your website be helping you with that?
So I would like it to be working as my 24/7 assistant. So it should be the place where people can find me easily without me having to do the work. So I would like my website to attract the right clients and make them feel like I am the person they are looking for, basically.
Yeah.
I find Dubai is very overwhelming. There is a lot in the market, but it is really difficult when it comes to finding a good stylist that understands the needs of the hair, and especially like I'm advertising myself now. I found my niche in blonde specialist because I feel like people are really looking for that. There is a big gap in the market for that. So I would just want them to land on my site and think, okay, I found her, you know?
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. That's good. It's really good to have a niche, especially if it is you feel it's a crowded market, then that definitely helps, really.
100%.
So tell us a little bit about your business and how your website currently sits within your kind of marketing activities that you're doing already.
So it's one of the main ones for sure, as I'm already working with you with the KG mastermind and everything. I understand how important it is. So I always try to work on it and make it better. But obviously, it's not my job. So I'll have to learn how to make a website in the first place. I created this business only not even a year ago. So the salon is pretty new. I started in May last year, and since then I've been building up the website, Google profile. I had to change things around. So yeah, I mean, it's a big chunk of the marketing. I am keeping track of the client, the analysts, basically of the clients. So I have a lot coming from Google.
Yeah, fantastic. That's good already. That's fantastic.
Yes, it's good. So mainly it's Google. Then of course I'm on Fresha. So Fresha brings some new clients once in a while. And yeah, and also AI at times. I've been found through Gemini and ChatGPT before. So yeah, it's working definitely, but there is a lot to improve for sure.
I mean, you've
Yeah.
done a lot of work already. I know that you've put a lot of hard work into it, and I know you had a few nightmares with your Google profile, but you've done a lot already. But it's just now at that point now of looking for some quick wins, really. I had a little look at your site before we came on the call, and there's definitely a few things that might just help just with some of the fundamentals, really. But I think it's great that you've already got clients finding you through Google. That's a really good, really good sign that Google already understands about your business and what you do.
It's amazing.
And
Yeah.
I definitely think that with the AI search, especially with you being a specialist, I think that's where you could really find you get people coming in who have been having that conversation with their whichever AI assistant, ChatGPT, or whichever one they're talking to, about like the issues with their blonde hair and that kind of stuff. It definitely, if you can set yourself up as that expert in what you do, without then excluding the other things that helps Google understand the fundamentals about your website. So we'll dive into that a little bit today, and
Great.
I'm excited to dive in. Yeah. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay, so I have your website here. I've just pulled it up and had a little look. So we said we'd maybe have a little look at your homepage today and see if there's some things here that maybe some tweaks that you can make that could help you. So whenever I come into a website, whenever we're sort of looking at a website, ideally what we want people to know within 3 seconds of landing on our homepage, or whichever page actually that they come into our website on, we want them to know what we do, how it's going to make their life better, and what they need to do to get it. I think there's probably some things that you could do to expand on that on your own homepage hero section. So one of the main things I thought when I first looked at this section is it's great that you're an award-winning salon. That's amazing. That's really good. But I would be thinking about, how does that help your clients? Like, you being award-winning, why does that help your clients? And how can you maybe get that across? And whether that actually needs to be here in this hero section, I think potentially it doesn't. So I think within your hero section, maybe this is somewhere, rather than having the pictures of you as an award winner here, we want people to immediately, like, we want our website to be setting our customer up as the hero of the story. So I would maybe think about moving this award-winning picture to further down the page and have it immediately. If you had something here with you working on blonde hair in particular, or on a blonde model, or even if it's just pictures of your hands working on blonde hair, or the balayage is another thing. I've had a little look at a couple of keywords and the difference between it in terms of what people are actually searching for. So we can have a little chat about that, and whether focusing on that part within this section is the best plan, or whether you then keep that for somewhere else on the website, really. But how do you feel about that, about having something that's a bit more client focused in this hero section on your homepage?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's just why I've been doing this is because from whatever like I've understood from trainings and stuff, just like put yourself out there, who you are, basically presenting who you are.
Yeah.
So in that case, like, of people seeing that I want something, so I'm like, an expert in something,
Yeah.
might help.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that this can sometimes be a bit of a problem. There's lots of talk about personal branding and how we've got to get ourselves out there and everything. And it's definitely something that I think social media plays a part of this, of actually, that we're out there sort of, and it's with SEO, it's all about people are out there searching and we show up as that solution to the problem. Whereas I feel like sometimes a lot of the social media stuff and a lot of the personal branding stuff is about us shouting about what we do and hoping to catch people's attention and hoping to draw them into our world. Whereas SEO, it's kind of the other way around. They're already looking for something and we can
Yeah.
show up as that solution. I think definitely, like, our website should all be about the customer. It should be about their
Okay.
story. They should be the hero. And what we should be doing in terms of presenting ourselves is showing how we are that trusted guide. We're going to hold their hand. They're still going to be the hero of the story, but we're going to hold their hand and help them to get to where they want to be. So with you, it's that they want to get to amazing hair. They want to have a great experience whilst they're doing that as well. So that's where I would maybe just flip it a little bit here on that, and just
Okay.
help people to immediately come in and know, oh, this is how they're going to help me, or I can see that
'Cause-
I can see this is for me and this is how they're going to help me. And then the award-winning stuff, I mean, you could definitely have award-winning somewhere here in this section, but I potentially would have that maybe as even like a little attention bar across the top. So right above, I
Okay.
don't know if Squarespace will let you do this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
something above the top here. Potentially you could have award-winning, or you could even have award-winning within this. You could have a award-winning hair salon in Dubai Marina, if that's something that's important, to get that across in that hero section for you.
Okay.
But
So do you think I could swap the pictures that I have more down of
yes,
the hair
yes. So
and put them
I
up?
don't know whether I would have these model shots in here, or whether there was one further down that I liked. So this one, obviously this isn't the right image. If you're trying to focus more on the blondes, then you probably want to
Yeah.
have somebody in there that's a blonde model. But I feel like either having something like this where it's you, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be like, if you, I know, because I know you've got a team, so if you don't want it just to be about you, you have got a team, haven't you?
Yes and no. I only have assistants now. They don't really
Okay.
do colors
Yeah.
or big. They only do like blow dries, keratin
Mhm.
treatments, like
Okay.
more like simple stuff.
Yeah.
I am training them in colors and everything, but
Yeah.
at the moment I'm the only one doing cuts and colors.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. But it's in terms of the vibe that you're talking, you talk on your website in we rather than I, don't you? And I'm guessing if you're wanting to train them up, you're wanting to get more staff members, or you're wanting to have more people doing things, then that's the direction you want to move in, really, isn't it?
Of course. And I'm looking for a new stylist now, for sure.
Yeah, so whether you then want to have a picture of just hands working, that could work well in that hero section, something a bit more zoomed in, so that it's not just you, because the last thing you then want is for only people to want to come and have you. As a business owner, I know you're more focused on that growth and being able to then be like maybe not have all of the clients want to come to you, basically. So so I would think about that, about whether that could be more of a better picture for this hero section, or alternatively sorry, go on.
It's there too, I guess.
Yeah, it is up there as well, isn't it? So so it's zoomed over. So realistically, people aren't gonna go through these pictures. People come here and we just want them to, with all of the sections on our website, we just need to keep them on that section and keep them either taking action or scrolling to the next section, and then the next section, and then the next section, until they do actually take action. So it could even be here that you have a beautiful picture of the salon there. That's another alternative. Is it, if you don't want to have a picture of actual hairdressing, then you could have a picture of the salon there. Probably the interior, I would think. Either way, you could have a think about that. But whichever way, I think you want people to be able to see themselves within that picture, really.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
And usually on a hero section, we would have the words over the picture, or we would have a picture with the words next to it, rather than, I think potentially your heading here could get a little bit lost if people come in and they immediately see the picture. And obviously it is different on mobile, and we need to assume with your kind of business that most people are going to be on their mobile. Where is my phone? I'm just going to have a little look on my phone, because sometimes this thing renders it slightly different. But if somebody was looking,
what I wish to do is to have more in one screenshot, because I feel like just the pictures and the writing is taking up the whole screen already. Whether but it does not work. I don't know, probably it's Squarespace, is the platform I'm using. But
so it is the same on mobile as well, where it's the same as it's looking on the screen there. But you should be able to do something. I've definitely seen it in Squarespace Squarespace websites, where you've been able to have the image as a background. So maybe you need to set it as the background image for this section, and then you'd have something to make it opaque over the top of that, so some kind of like an overlay, so that the background doesn't look like you can see it, but it's not then interfering. And again, this can sometimes be where you might be better to have an image next to the words, because if it's quite a busy picture in the background, then that can then compete with the words that you're trying to put over the top of it, really. So
it's not going to be readable, isn't it?
No. So it's again a bit of a balance. With some businesses, it ends up being, actually, I don't want a picture here, I'm just going to have it as a gradient background or something like that, and just have the words doing the job. So it's worth sort of playing around with that and seeing what works for you and what's going to be best for this section. But one thing I would say is the main thing in this section, the thing that's going to help people to take action, is the words, I think, that are here. And it's also going to help Google as well. So thinking about what you want this page to show up for, I've got a little Google Chrome plugin that I use every day in my business, and I always recommend it to people. I've talked about it on the podcast lots of times. It's called AIO SEO, so all-in-one SEO analyzer. And you can download it from the Google Chrome store, and then you just come onto your own website and then just click this button, the little blue icon for it. And this then gives you a really clear snapshot of what you've got set for your page title, your page description, your heading, so the structure of your website. And again, I've talked about this lots of times on the podcast, about we want our pages to be like an English essay. So ideally, we just want one H1 heading on any page of our website. And then underneath that, you would have H2. So you'd never have a H1 followed by a H3, followed by a H2, then by a H4. So ideally, it should follow down a natural hierarchy. So we should be seeing one H1, a few H2s, and then maybe within those H2s, you would have some H3s within them. So like, for example, you've got here our signature services as a H2, which is great. But then ideally what you would want is these signature services would be a H3 rather than a H4. So it's like anything that
Okay.
needs to break something down further is then where you go down the hierarchy. This is really important for both SEO and for showing up in AI searches as well, because this is what the bots are reading about your website. And so this is telling Google, telling ChatGPT, all of it, whichever bot is reading through your website, it's telling it the most important parts of your website. So your headings and bold text, if you put anything in bold on your website, even with italics, if you use italics on your website, that sends a signal to Google that this is an important part of the page. So realistically, somebody should be able to come into your website, just read the headings and maybe some of the bold text, and understand about what you do, how you're going to help them, whichever page of the website or whichever page of the internet this is, they should be able to understand the page from just reading that hierarchy. So you've got, I think, on here you can have a look and see, you've got 5 H1 headings at the moment. Now, this is one of the biggest opportunities for you to actually come into Squarespace, and some of it will be the way that Squarespace does things like, I think you've got this little carousel thing here going across the screen, which it's set that as a H1 heading. I would hope that Squarespace would allow you to set that as not a H1 heading. So you'd probably just want that to be paragraph text, because otherwise it's going to be this great big long wall of text there, which shouldn't realistically be a heading. These things you might want them to be headings on their own, like our 5 favorite clients say, and trusted by hair lovers in Dubai Marina. Maybe you would want those to be headings somewhere on the page, but not within this part and not all crushed together in one heading. So before we sort of move on from headings and H1 heading, I would seriously consider having your H1 heading the same as whatever you have as your page title, or at least having that same target keyword in there. So when I had a look on my keyword research tool, I was looking at the difference between hair salon, hair stylist, blonde specialist, colorist, hair care specialist, looking at the difference in search volume between people looking for a blonde specialist in Dubai and a hair salon in Dubai and a hairdresser in Dubai versus hair salon in Dubai. I think hair salon is something within your homepage that could be a stronger thing to use within your page title and description. So you've got it here in one of your H1 headings, so you can make that your primary just one H1 heading. But having that here in your page title might be helpful for you. It does tie in with your Google business profile as well. So when I looked, I think you've got your primary category in your Google business profile set as hairdresser. Now, there is the hair salon is another option, which you haven't got.
But I wanted to tell you about this because when I go on my Google profile, I actually put it as a hair salon.
Okay. So it doesn't appear that it's got it set like that at the moment. So at the moment, it's got hairdresser, beauty salon, hair extension technician, hair extension supplier, and stylist. And this is probably a good point to mention that anyone can go in and make suggested edits to a Google profile. So I've had it quite often where Google, what's the one that it puts on me? Something like home services or something like that. It keeps putting that on my profile, and I have to tell it every time, no, I don't do that. It also then adds on website hosting, which is something else that I don't offer. So we do have to keep an eye on it, because sometimes Google will change things based on either suggestions from the member of the public or just based on what Google understands about your business. So I would definitely suggest thinking about, like, the primary category is really important. It is the most important one. But if you change your primary category, it can sometimes trigger a re-verification. I don't know whether it would if you changed yours from hairdresser to hair salon, because they are so related, and because Google can see that you've got a pin in the map, you've got a physical location. But I would consider it what's going to be the best one for you. Now, this is another little Google Chrome plugin I use called GMB Everywhere, which will help you to understand the other categories that are available to you. So this is where it also has a little thing on here that tells you how many people are searching for that particular type of that particular search phrase. So between hair salon, which is 3.4 million, this is worldwide, bearing in mind, and hairdresser, which is 1 million, then there's quite a big difference. If both apply, both are equally as important to your business, I would then choose the one that's got the higher search volume worldwide, really. So I
So
would,
which one should I put?
so,
Hairdress, no,
so
hair salon.
hair salon, I think either of those could be a good primary category for your business. But I think hair salon makes more sense for you just based on the fact that you've got this beautiful salon and you are trying to build a team and everything. I think hair
No,
salon makes more sense.
okay, you know why? Because if I put hair salon, there is no hair salon
It doesn't give you
option.
the option. Okay, so
No,
maybe that's a
that's
Dubai
why.
thing then. It might be. I mean,
Probably.
it seems a bit strange that it wouldn't allow you to add that in.
Yeah, I'm
But
checking now and it's not giving me the option.
yeah, I don't know if you can do it as a hairdresser.
See?
Oh yeah, it doesn't give that as an option for you in your
Yeah, because I listened to
interesting.
your to
Yeah,
your lessons,
yeah,
but it was not
absolutely.
allowing me to
Yeah.
put that.
Okay.
You remember that came up the last time you had a look at my
Yeah.
website, and I
Yeah.
went and looked for it, but it didn't allow me to do that.
Okay, so that might be then that more people search for, which doesn't like, I mean, it doesn't align with what the sort of the other keyword research tool is saying. That, I mean, it does. One of the things that it does say is that hairdresser Dubai Marina and hair salon Dubai Marina, it's from the fact that they've both got a search volume, a monthly search volume of 590. That suggests that Google is treating that as the same sort of search term.
Mm,
So it might just purely be that. So if it's not there available for you, then hairdresser is the option to go with, really, you know. But I would
yeah.
also consider if you're not doing beauty, I would
Mm,
consider removing the ones that don't apply. So remove beauty salon. I saw when I look at what services you've got
yeah.
suggested, you've got in here eyelash extensions.
No.
So I would go in and remove that as one of the services as well in your Google business profile. Because what all of this is doing, we've kind of gone off a little tangent on Google profiles, but it's so related. And what all of this is doing, your website strengthens your Google business profile and your Google business profile strengthens your website. And it's all about Google understanding that you are this particular business in this particular location and that it can reliably recommend you that you do these things, that you are a hairdresser, that you
Yeah.
whether you do beauty, those kind of things. And
Should
actually
I
that's
just leave
where,
hairdresser and extension technician?
is that what it's showing on yours?
No, should I just leave those?
Oh, just have those two. I mean,
Yeah.
stylist, if you've still got stylist on there, I think that's relevant. There could be other ones in
Okay.
here as well, so you could definitely go and download this GMB everywhere Google Chrome plugin and have a little look at some of these other ones that are in there. What this also
Yeah.
does, once you select the categories at the top, it shows you the related services that you can also then add into your profile as well. So it will show you
Okay.
things like keratin treatment, hair straightening, scalp treatment, those kind of things. And then
Yeah.
what you can then do is use this as sort of guidance for the pages that you need to create in your website. So if one of the ones is keratin treatment, then I think you've got a keratin treatment page on your website.
Yes.
That's good. That helps Google to understand that you do actually offer that service. Coming back to your homepage, what I would suggest is then having that rather than having hair color and care experts in Dubai Marina, having in here hairdresser or something like that. Or maybe I would put it as hair salon because Google is obviously treating both as the same. So have that more and have that at the front end of what you're putting in your page title. So hair salon in Dubai Marina, and then if you want to then have blonde and balayage specialist or something in there, and then you could have your name at the end of your title if it still keeps within the number of characters. But you could even
Mm.
have that in your about page or something like that, that maybe you have the salon name within the about page title. And with the
Okay.
description, think about the person who's reading that Google search results page. So maybe something like looking for a specialist hair, or looking for a blonde and balayage specialist in Dubai Marina. Think about what do people need to hear there that is going to help them to click through to your website and to sort of trust you. Or it could even be maybe that's where you want to award winning in there or something maybe. Yeah. It's
Okay.
something that it's definitely worth having a think about this, of what do you want this homepage to be showing up for. Realistically, it's probably something around hair salon or hairdresser in Dubai Marina, because
Okay.
that the homepage can sort of really do that job well. And within that, then you would maybe think about the same sort of thing in your H1 heading. For many pages, having the same page title and H1 heading is okay. And then the other thing within the hero section here is making sure that there's a really obvious call to action here. So book an appointment, I'm guessing, is the call to action that you want people to take throughout your whole website. Realistically, is you want people to book
Yeah.
an appointment or book a consultation or something like that. So I would have that here. So it's just, you've got it here just slightly lower down on the page, but you could have that. So you could, if you imagine a picture with the H1 heading over the top of it, maybe even something underneath it of like, I saw something lower down your page that I thought sounded good. This bit of what's getting in the way of your dream hair, that definitely could come higher up the page, because that's talking about the problem that you're solving for people. Whether you then have that within this hero section, or whether you make the H1 heading as luxury hair salon, luxury Italian. I was thinking about the Italian thing. Is that something that you also want that as a specialism there, that it's an Italian hair salon? So
Yes.
luxury Italian hair salon in Dubai Marina. And then you could have this as bullet points underneath: blonde specialist, balayage specialist, or something like that, just as so, like immediately underneath it as bullet points. Or you could even have it as like three, like I don't know if you've got anything
Like the one underneath.
yeah, on I don't think so. Yeah, almost something like this, but you could have three of those across the page, or three or four of those across the page, as balayage specialist, blonde hair specialist. You know, think about that. Think about sort of what makes the most sense. You could even have something in there of the transformation that people want as well. So you could definitely have that within that hero section of like, so almost like the reverse of this. So instead of faded or brassy color, what's the opposite of that? And that's their transformed state. That's where they're trying to get to. Potentially that could be something else that you could add into that hero section. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Dog's getting ready to bark now. So.
That's all right.
So that definitely, in terms of your homepage, that would be the main thing to focus on, is getting the page title and description in alignment with that H1 heading, and thinking about the job that you want this homepage to do. So who you help, how you help them, what you want to be known for as well, which that's the balayage specialist. But whether that needs to be this page doing that job, or whether it's your specific, I don't think you've got a specific balayage page, have you?
No, it's in the coloring services.
Yeah. So if balayage, and that was one that came up actually, balayage in Dubai, 140 people a month searching for that, low difficulty. So that could be something that actually you need a specialist balayage page, but maybe it's not something that you need right now, but it could certainly be something you could think about adding that in at some point. And then you could even add those as products in your Google business profile and link specifically to that page. And that will then help to strengthen that signal to Google that you are a balayage specialist, you're a blonde specialist. And then, so talking about within those specific pages, talking about things like clients you've helped, why your expertise needs to come across in there, really. So that's the way that you can kind of stand out and be known as the expert in what you do, by talking about your expertise in there, which sounds obvious, but it's something we don't necessarily think about doing. And if you've got any reviews and things like that mention where you specifically help people with their blonde situation or their balayage situation, then even just taking a snippet of that review and having those on those pages can be really helpful for you.
Yeah.
So we've talked about quite a lot. One of the things that I would also say, and this is sort of site-wide across your site and also across many Squarespace websites, is the fact that it fades up. I'm just going to refresh the page so you can see what I mean, and people watching can see what I mean. So as you scroll down, it fades in. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest with you. I think Google isn't as well. Google likes the page to be loaded and the stuff to be there where it's going to be when people come through. And I know when I'm scrolling through a website, because we do scroll so quickly, if the content can't keep up with me, which quite often it can't, and these ones where it's fading in slowly, I'm just looking at a blank page. So I would think about turning those animations off. I think often we end up feeling like, oh, I need something more visual on my
Yeah,
website.
sure. I never noticed that. I think
Yeah.
it just does it automatically. I've
Yeah.
never really um
Yeah, I think it probably does because most Squarespace websites do this, but
yeah.
it's just annoying from a user experience point of view. It just slows me down, and that's whereas actually I'll scroll down the page and then I'll go back to the bits that I want to kind of look at really. So I
Yeah.
would consider that as just a little tweak, and also just have a little look at your font sizes as well. They might just need slightly upping. They're just a little bit small. Google's not keen on anything below a 16 pixel. I tend to not use much below an 18 on most websites when I'm sort of working. This is 16 Montserrat, but it is just still looking a little bit small. So I would just
I
maybe
think
think
it's
about.
because otherwise in the mobile version
Mhm.
it's looking too big and it takes
Okay.
up too much of the space. So the screenshot would be very like just a few words, that's why I did it.
Yeah. I think
And
still, even on mobile, I still think it looks quite small there. Often we think that we need to go
mhm,
smaller on mobile, but sometimes we need to go bigger because it's a smaller screen, really. So what you might also just need is a little bit more padding and a little bit more margin around the edges, so it brings it more into the center of the screen, and just makes
okay.
it a little bit easier to read on mobile there. But I wouldn't worry about people scrolling down, having to scroll to get to stuff, but because people are used to that anyway. Really, this is not bad in terms of like the
I
size
don't
on
like
mobile.
it. Like aesthetically, I'm like, I don't like that, but
Yeah, yeah. But if you make this H1 heading smaller and maybe have these down here in bullet points or something like that, or icons or something, then
yeah,
that might immediately help to make it feel a bit clearer there as well.
yes.
Yeah. And if you've got a picture that's not got so much going on, or it's grayed, like a bit more grayed out in the background, that might also then make it feel a bit better for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like we've covered a lot, definitely. So the main things, just looking at your homepage and those tweaks that we've talked about there, and then obviously your Google profiles are kind of a separate thing, really. But well, it's
Yeah.
not. They all go together, really. So has that been helpful? Anything in particular that's kind of stood out immediately for you?
No, I mean, I knew that there would have been something, but to me, I'm not an expert, so I'm like, okay, I've done a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have absolutely done a great job. And you're not starting from a blank page, which immediately makes it 100 times easier, because
Mhm.
once we do this, you've got Google Search Console set up, haven't you, and Google
Yes.
Analytics. So at least then you can understand what Google is seeing about your website, what Google is understanding about your website, and you can make adjustments from there as well. But they're just some of those key things that can just help it all tie in together, really. So yeah,
Yes, I know
good.
what to do on my free time now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No such thing as free time when you're a business owner, right?
True, true.
So before we finish, I would love you to give yourself another little shout out, let people know specifically what you do and where they can find out more about you and connect with you.
Well, clearly, I'm a hairstylist and I'm a salon owner in Dubai Marina. The salon is very new. I took over a previous salon, so I just basically rebranded and yeah, it's going really well. I have a few years of experience. I'm still young, but I started hairdressing when I was 14, moved to London at 18, and now I'm 28. I've been in Dubai for the past 4 years almost. Had a salon for 10 months now, yeah. And yeah, I've had the luck to start working since the beginning, basically with you and with Katie. So that's a big step forward.
Yeah,
So yeah, if you're ever in Dubai and need a balayage service, you know where to find me.
absolutely. And she comes highly recommended as well. So yeah, definitely.
Thanks.
So if this episode has made you think about your local visibility and you'd like to explore optimizing your Google business profile or getting some help with your website, then visit my website, thewebsitesuccesshub.com, and you can book a session with me and we can go through and optimize your profile together. So if you're not sure how I can help you, then you can book a discovery call. As I say, visit my website to book that. And thank you so much for listening. Thanks, Indira, for being here. And I'll see
Thank
you
you for
soon.
having me.
You're
It was
welcome.
really nice of you to invite me. Thank you
You're
very
very
much.
welcome. Thanks a lot then. See you soon. Bye.
If you'd like to attract more local clients, grab my free local visibility checklist.
It'll show you the simple steps you can take to show up in your area for what you do. You can download it at thewebsitesuccesshub.com/local. And thanks for tuning in to the Website Success Show.